Dark Admiral versus the Prussian Prince. The rules of this tournament are basically max 4 of the same, excluding 4 Betonia because their roster is shit and small. Max 3 demigryphs, max 1 hero, max 2 death wizards, max 1 steam tank. I think that was it. So the Prussian Prince is playing against Dark Admiral here. And the Prussian Prince is commanding the Dwarfs against the Undead. He's starting in a nice uphill position. His army consists of Hammerers, Dwarf Warriors, Longbeards and Hammerers, Miners with blasting charges, front line of Correlers, in the back he has a Ruinsmith, and of course the Slayer King. He also has 4 gyrocopters with brimstone guns, presumably to take down crypt horrors and other big nasties. Now VM has got, Dark Admiral has got 4 crypt horrors. He has 1 graveguard with great weapons on each side, 2 graveguard center, Cairn Wraiths, zombies in the front. Here he has a vampire. And I think that's it for his heroes. I don't see any other heroes flying about. So strong center, flanking flanks, and yep, the brimstone. Oh, here we go. He also has he has a vampire over here as well. So yeah, there we go. So a vampire general and a vampire hero, Manfred. Let's see if the gyros are able to take down any crypt horrors. Yeah, they are doing... Ooh, they're doing significant damage to the horrors. The flyers are circling to avoid getting hit by the correlers. And attacking the gyros could be a good idea, because I find gyros are not that accurate versus single small targets. So the vampire is taking damage, but not horrible at the moment. Taking a bit of damage. Now look at this, look at the crypt horrors. Together with the blasting charges, the crypt horrors have been taking down something fierce. So 1 crypt horror is basically out of commission. But here comes the Cairn Wraiths. The gyrocopter, Rune of Negation, increased damage resistance, increased armor, increased leadership. Really wants the gyrocopters to take the damage here. The correlers getting pounded to a pulp as the graveguard move in. The dwarves are holding valiantly, but yeah, center is breaking. You have horror causing units in the center, very smart to, or terror causing units in the center, very smart to include such a unit. Gaze of Nagash hits the Runesmith. The gyrocopters are starting to break. Thorgrim is fighting graveguard and crypt horrors. Now for the late game though, can the gyrocopters manage to snipe the vampire general potentially? Manfred has landed. Or this isn't Manfred. It's sorry about that. It isn't a vampire, it's a master necromancer. It's a master necromancer. So master necromancer and a vampire. Because if not, there would be two Buna Spirit Leech Wizards, and that's not allowed for this tournament. So that's why the Master Necromancer is going down so insanely quickly. He's actually going to die here. That could be a problem for the Undead. Ooh, he just pulls out. He could take damage. The Vampire is fighting the Gyrocopters to avoid this fellow taking any more damage. He is crumbling. He needs to cast a spell on himself. There we go. Undeath Resurgent, increasing leadership, but nope. I don't think he had enough mana to get the spell in. So now the undead units need to win their respective combats hardcore, because if not, they are in crumble territory. Vampire dealing with the gyrocopters. There is a Graveguard unit here that soon is going to be free. But Thorgrim is a tough nut to crack in the late game. He is exceptionally tanky. Graveguard making it into the blob of miners and corners. Here comes the Vampire, wanting to finish off the gyros. Or no, not really. The giant, the Vampire charges in towards the central blob here. These gyrocopters have done a lot of damage for the Prussian Prince. Units come back from routing. Graveguard getting a lot of kills here. These Graveguard are... The Graveguard hasn't taken much damage at this point, and Thorgrim is down to 50% health. So I think Dark Admiral has what's needed to finish off this battle. Even though he lost his Necromancer, and one gyro goes down. The Vampire is using Immortal Will to replenish hit points. Second gyro goes down, and there we have it. A defeat. Wouldn't been possible to salvage that, so a bit of an unusual Vampire Counts army this. I'm sure the rules of the tournament shift the balance towards that. You don't see 6 Graveguard that often. But against the Dwarfs, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to have Graveguard with great weapons, as long as you can join the fight with faster units, so you don't get fired upon for an extended period before you close. The miners with blasting charges together with the gyrocopters, I think that was a good idea. But I think maybe the Prussian Prince had his melee strength wasn't really there once the main engagement started. Only 2 hammers, a longbeard and dwarf warrior with great weapons as good melee units, aside from Ungrim himself, versus what is essentially a pure melee rush. Very hard to face. This is a best of 5 series, so fortunately, more games, more games. Strength and honor.